Good day and welcome to the 360 show. It's a big week as we are heading towards the climax of the 2024 IPL. How can Team RCB qualify? Quite a few scenarios on the table, but they need to focus on winning. The English players are leaving the IPL. It's a big moment as some of the big names of the IPL are heading back to the UK to prepare for the World Cup. And in KKR, number one spot, top of the list, and a big incentive for finishing top two. They have cemented that now, which will mean a lot to the KKR franchise. We cover all of that on this week's 360 show. Let's go. Alright guys, as we look at the points table, most of my focus will be on Team RCB as I feel that the stars are aligning. Everything is lined up and they just need to run through their door now with a solid win against CSK. But top of the list, KKR, as I mentioned in the intro, they have qualified, but not only have they qualified, they have cemented their spot in the top two standings, which means a lot. As you know, 1 and 2 will play each other in those knockouts. The winner will go straight to the final. That is a huge incentive and much deserved for KKR as they played very consistent cricket throughout this tournament with 9 wins out of 13 games. Absolutely fantastic. Obviously, that one-pointer in that rain-off match against GT, just getting him across the line to cement their spot in those top two. So big for them. But for the rest of the teams, it's all to play for. A few teams have been knocked out, but in the middle of the standings, lots of guys fighting for a spot, and RCB comes to mind. So there's a lot of scenarios on the table, as you guys know. A lot of things can happen. A lot of results can affect RCB's fortune. But at the end of the day, when you are in that team room now, there's big pressure. But what do you do with pressure? You need to be calm. You need to be clear. You need to be focused. And that'll be my message to Andy Flower and the team. Very clear messaging. Very clear role definitions for this final game of their IPL campaign. What can they control? And that is the theme for me today. Control what you can control. What is that? And that is to beat CSK convincingly. The most important thing for RCB will be to lay a foundation in the game against CSK. Around 18 runs is not a lot in T20 cricket. It's 3 shots, guys. So I would not want them to go into that game thinking about the result too much, thinking about the scenarios too much, the net run rate, all the complications. That'll take your focus away from the ball. The most important thing is when that ball is alive, it's game on. The event has started and you need to be focused on the ball and the ball only. So that'll be my message to Team RCB. Lay the foundation, lay the platform, do the basics well. There's plenty of time later on in the game when there's 2 or 3 or 4 overs left to focus on the 18-run win or the 11 balls to spare win. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is go out there, play a game of cricket. You know that CSK or your opposition will be under pressure as well. Force them to make mistakes. And once you get that signal and you identify that moment, then it's time to run through the door. I feel very, very positive and confident that it's lining up for RCB. I think this is the year, guys. As you know, the women's team won that tournament, and I feel it's just destiny. It's written in the stars, and I hope all RCBians out there are feeling it too. Yes, I'm quite nervous. I can feel the butterflies. That moment is coming closer. It is the old foe, CSK as well. Some people called it very early on in the tournament that this game against RCB, or between RCB and CSK, will be a very, very big moment in the tournament, and can you believe it? It's come down to that. So lots of scenarios. As I pull up a couple of posts here from CricBuzz, RCB's playoff qualification scenario. RCB will have to surpass CSK's run rate if they win by 18 runs or more on May 18, assuming they score 200 batting first. And if the target is 201, then they'll have to chase it down with roughly 11 balls remaining. So that's the scenario for you guys, just to keep an eye out on that. I'm pretty sure the broadcasters will have it on the television screens throughout the game, so you will be updated with that. So just all to play for. So many different scenarios, guys. It's been a fantastic season. SRH is there, CSK, RCB, LSG. It's all to play for. It's totally incredible. Also, big game 2 games for RR ahead, as they are hoping to cement that top 2 spot as well with KKR. They thoroughly deserved it by playing really good cricket throughout this tournament, but it's not done yet for them. Plenty to play for. And I can't believe we're talking about the end of the season already. 11 odd days to go. I'll be flying to India for the final week, for the knockouts. I'll be doing a bit of commentary with Cheers Cinema. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm just so excited to watch the end of this IPL tournament, which I feel have been an incredible tournament. It's been a record-breaking tournament, most hundreds ever, biggest totals. We see the purple cap guys putting up their hands with Bumrah right on top of the list with Harshal Patel. We have Virat Kohli as an orange cap once again. So much to be excited about with this tournament. It's been super amazing, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let's talk about the English players leaving the tournament. It is a big moment for some big teams. I think of KKR, CSK, RCB, and also RR being defected the most. Punjab obviously losing 3 players, but they're already out of the tournament. But Moeen Ali for CSK, Phil Salt for KKR, for RCB, Will Jacks and Reece Topley, and Josh Butler, the one and only for RR. Big blows. I think the biggest of them all will be Josh Butler. We know what that guy can do on a cricket field. And for RR being on top of the list there and in the running to win this tournament, they really would have liked to have him around. Will Jacks, it's a big blow for RCB, guys. We saw him scoring that phenomenal 100 at Ahmedabad against GT, and it would have been so nice to see those fireworks in the knockout stages. Phil Salt, big blow for KKR. He scored over 400 runs this tournament already at a rapid pace. And Moeen Ali, the experienced English player that can perform with both bat and ball. It's a really big blow. And was it the right thing to do? So Rob Key was quoted saying, I asked Josh Butler early on in the piece and said, look, as England captain, you're obviously going to have the series against Pakistan. So there's the first point we're going to discuss. How do I see it? And straight away, Butler stopped him in his tracks and said, no, I want to come back and start getting ready for the World Cup in that series that's just before it. So big call there. I think it's the right call from Butler. Get his team ready, show that commitment, show the determination and the motivation to want to go and win that World Cup, to get the team together. We know how important that is in big tournaments for teams to gel, to feel comfortable, to get the messaging across about what your roles are in this tournament, so that all the players are ready and focused to go and win a trophy for their nation. So the right call, I believe, from Josh Butler. It would just happen so that they're playing against Pakistan. As you guys know, the Pakistan players don't play in the IPL. So it is a fixture that was scheduled a while back. And obviously, it's not an issue for all the other teams. Of course, none of them have been scheduled to play against Pakistan. It is pretty close. It's a quick turnaround to go straight to the World Cup. But I do believe the value that the players get out of the IPL. So for those of them that are not heading back home to prepare for the World Cup, I think the value they get out of playing in the IPL, the competitive nature of the beast over there, is the perfect prep for a World Cup. If you can get some of your key players in form against some of the best bowlers or best batters in the world, that's exactly what you want. It's more valuable than sitting at a camp or talking about strategies. There's still enough time after this IPL to prepare for the World Cup, I believe, with regards to strategies and communication. But Butler and Rob Key feeling that this series is going to be a really important one for them against Pakistan to prepare, and they saw that as the best competitive possible cricket they can get leading into the World Cup. So there will be mixed emotions, mixed opinions. I would like to hear what you guys think, so please post your comments in the descriptions box and I can discuss that with a 360 Live this coming weekend. Nonetheless, the guys are leaving, some big blows, and I think for me, the one that hurts most is Will Jacks. I think Butler will have the biggest impact for him leaving, but Will Jacks hurt me most because I believe that he had 100 up his sleeve in the next few games for RCB. Unfortunately, he will not be there, but there's plenty of talent to replace him, and we'll see what RCB get up to with regards to that. All right, moving on to KKR then. They are a happy team. They're on top of the log. They've qualified or cemented their spot in the top 2, as I mentioned before. So they will be playing in that knockout game where 1 and 2 play against each other. The winner goes straight to the final. Shreyas Iyer has been absolutely incredible. There's been a lot of doubt and talks about him as captain. I punted him. I always thought from the start of the tournament, he's a wise guy, he's a smart cricketer. I love the way he's calm and composed as a captain. He never seems to get rushed. He never seems to panic, even though deep down inside you do feel some panic sometimes, especially playing at the Eden Gardens. We've seen the scores over there. But what stands out to me with this team, and what makes it even more impressive for Shreyas and the way he's captain, is the retained players. Guys like Narayan, Russell, Varun, Venki. It's not easy to captain senior players like this who have been around for ages, especially Narayan and Russell. We know the West Indies guys have got different personalities. They're very outgoing. They can be outspoken sometimes. They're a very happy bunch. It must be sometimes difficult with the differences in culture to communicate properly to some of these experienced players and to keep them engaged throughout an entire tournament. And some older guys like myself, other senior players, Chris Gale, for instance, we all, throughout our years of playing, have different ways of preparing for a series or for games. Quite stubborn sometimes, we want to prepare this way. So if a young captain comes in and says, no, but I actually really want you at the practice to do 30 minutes of fielding there and then to go and bat, not the other way around. It takes a big captain and a big personality to tell these kind of senior players, that's what I want and that's what I expect from you as captain. And it somehow Shreyas Iyer seems to have gotten that absolutely spot on this tournament. So there is something special about this guy, I believe. And Anuj Nitin Prabhu says here, the guy who should have been among the first to take the baton of leadership from Rohit in ODIs is without a central contract. Deservingly, Shreyas takes his team to a top 2 finish. So there's so much to admire about KKR this season, and Ayer's captaincy is one of that. And I've got to agree with that. Very special. And he has put up his hand, and the selectors, unfortunately, cannot ignore him any further. So we'll see what happens in the future with Team India. He certainly put up his hand as captain and as a player. And then I spoke about Phil Salt leaving. We know he's given KKR great starts in this tournament. 435 runs from 12 innings at a really good rate, as always, with Phil Salt. And you'll probably be replaced by Gurbaz, also a very attacking player up front. So not the end of the world, but it is a big blow nonetheless. Moving on to Jimmy Anderson. He's called it the day. He'll play his final test match there at Lord's. And he said here, a note to say, the first test of the summer at Lord's will be my last. It's been an incredible 20 years representing my country. And he goes on, you guys can go and read that. It's on his Twitter profile or X. What a fantastic player. Over the years, I've had so many battles against this guy. He's one of the most skillful bowlers I've ever met. Also one of the hardest competitors to play against. He always had something to say, always in your face. And the thing about him that I admired the most, he would just never, ever, ever stop trying. And that is a big lesson to all youngsters out there, to anyone out there. If you really believe you're destined for something, then do not stop. Just keep going. Get yourself up when you get knocked down. Try again. Learn from those mistakes. Learn from the experience and move on again. And I think Jimmy, throughout these careers, has been the epitome of that, of never giving up, never saying die. He would always come back after a quiet season or quiet few weeks or quiet series, come back with a bang. And that's just the nature of him, the characteristics of Jimmy Anderson. What a fantastic player. And congrats, Jimmy, with an incredible career. You have been simply outstanding, and all the very best with that final test match at Lord's. I don't think it could have finished any better and in a better place. Lord's is obviously very close to his heart. And then on the right here, we see some ABD vibes here. Says Drakshi Girl. And I pulled up the 360 logo for you guys. It took me a while to pick this logo. And I'm going to pull up a quiz as well. I want you guys to guess who the player is in the 360 logo. I think that's pretty easy. But secondly, who was that against and what year, what game, what venue? Give me some info, and the guy that's right, I would love to chat to you. So please post it in the descriptions box. Have a look out for that quiz. And we see Virat Kohli playing that phenomenal knock, 67 or 38 there. And he played a shot very similar to the 360 logo. It's uncanny. Absolutely stunning, and I absolutely love that. All right, let's move on to the comments box. And thanks to all of you for taking part in this. I've got a whole list of comments on here. I'm going to cover a few. Chingari, it's all connected for RCB. 18 May, 18 runs to win. 18 runs win, chasing 18 overs, number 18 jersey, alluding to Virat Kohli. So RCB versus CSK, it's all lined up. It's written in the stars. RCB will be going through. I truly believe that. Do you think franchise cricket is affecting international cricket, especially to longer format like ODIs or test matches? I do believe so. From a skill point of view, certainly. We've seen better ODIs and better test matches because of T20s. It brings a different form of entertainment to the game. The players start realizing that there's no limits, the sky is the limit, and you can sort of start experimenting a bit, even if it's test cricket. Look at England and the way they have been playing, aggressive nature of cricket, very positive. They love having a go at the bowlers, putting everyone under pressure, get the fielders spread out. And that's certainly, I think T20 cricket has certainly played a big role in that. But hopefully, franchise cricket does not get that powerful that it sort of takes over completely. We still want to see ODIs and test cricket in a healthy state, and we've covered that in depth not so long ago, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that again. I do think a change is needed in all the formats, and hopefully these formats will look after each other so that we have a healthy T20, ODI and test format in the future. AB, please contact Aiden Markram and give him some suggestions to improve his weaknesses. You've been very busy on X, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. You really want me to talk about Aiden Markram. It comes down to form, guys. He's a little bit low in confidence. That's all it is. It's not a too overly complicated situation. We know he's a very talented young player with hopefully another good 5 years at least in him for South Africa and also for SRH. There's no doubt in my mind he will come good. Class is permanent, form is temporary. It's form. He's lost a bit of confidence halfway throughout this tournament, and unfortunately for him, it's a World Cup right around the corner. But I do feel he's got the mental strength to turn it around, to find a bit of form, and to go show the world what he's capable of. RCB should definitely retain players like Rajat Patidar and Will Jacks and also others. This time because we have seen them making mistakes over the years. Very true. It's not easy, guys. Remember that to be in that position, it's a high-pressure situation for the selectors, for the coaches, and for the owners. So not easy. I do think Rajat Patidar have woken up halfway throughout this tournament fantastically well, and he's playing great cricket again. I was very worried in the first half of the tournament. And Will Jacks, he's done enough. But there's a lot of decisions to be made. There's many players who've put up their hands, and it's not easy. Diddy Mark, 17, time to come and coach the Proteas. I'll just skip that one. I don't know about that. We'll see what happens in the future. Never say never once again. I always say that. AB's concern for RCB, even though he's not in the team, is commendable. Shows his strong tie with the franchise. I'm really hoping to see you as a coach in the future for RCB. Thanks for that. And I do have strong ties with the franchise. I played there for many years. I absolutely love the Chinnaswamy, love the people from Bengaluru, and I love Team Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Hopefully, this is the year. And once again, about the coaching job, I can't give you guys an answer, unfortunately. Who would you retain for RCB in the next mega auction? I did cover that in one of the shows, the past shows, previous shows. So go through that. It's not easy. There's many names. And I do feel, and I've mentioned this before, we need another X-Factor spinner. Karan Sharma has been really good at this back end of the tournament, but we need someone to support him as well, especially on different wickets where we sometimes want to play two wrist spinners. And then you can have the Will Jacks and the Glenn Maxwell and the Lomro options as well, the finger spinners. But sometimes in big games, in slower tracks, you want two wrist spinners, and we need another mystery X-Factor spinner. All right, also on the comments box is an AI-generated version of, I think it's me. I really love that. I think it's very creative. I think that tracks back to the 1600s, if I'm not mistaken. It could be the 1800s. I actually don't even know, but it reminds me of one of the three de Villiers brothers who arrived in South Africa in 1689 in Cape Town. So they traveled from France via Holland to South Africa, escaping what was, I think, a bit of a war going on in France, and they fled to South Africa. 3 de Villiers brothers, 2 of them had children, and I'm from the one line, guys. 400 odd years later, well, 350, 340. Quite interesting. That's what it reminds me of. So please keep creating this stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. Just for interest's sake, the 3 de Villiers brothers settled on a farm in the Cape Province, and they started not long after a farm called Boschendal. So if you're ever in the Cape Province, just know that my ancestors started that farm. I think they sold it somewhere in the 1800s, mid-1850s, 60. They unfortunately sold the farm. Otherwise, I would have been part of a wine farm. Unfortunately, I'm not. Some of the best wines in South Africa, go check it out, Boschendal. So that's where I'm from. From 1689, when 3 de Villiers brothers from France decided to come to South Africa. A little bit of Wikipedia for you on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. And a little bit more info. The 3 brothers' names were Pierre, Jacques, and the third one was, you've guessed it, Abraham. So Benjamin also came in later on and became a family name. So Abraham Benjamin is a de Villiers family name for many, many years. That's been running and going on. The ironic part of that is Abraham was the one out of the 3 brothers that didn't have children, so his line didn't continue. But Pierre and Jacques' lines continue to this day in South Africa. So that's it for the comments box. Thanks, guys, for posting all the questions and the comments. And we're moving on to the 360 challenge now, something that's very, very exciting to me. And I'm posting only a short clip because I want you guys to go watch the full one. So let's quickly have a look at this 360 challenge clip.
Hey, Dozati, I'm nine Torenge, Zamagal, Terra Satuna Torenge.
Yeah, so interesting scenes there. Not sure about my voice. It was breaking up a touch because I was still out of breath taking this guy on. Go watch the full video. It's posted out there on my socials. I think you guys will enjoy it. There's more 360 challenges to come, guys. I will be going to India soon, and I'm going to have a lot of fun in the streets of Mumbai when I'm there for the last week of the IPL. So keep your eye out on my socials for more 360 challenges. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that bell notification, like this show, and stay in touch with regards to all my social media platforms where I update you guys about what's coming and what's next. Thank you very much for joining me on the 360 show. Go RCB. You can do it. It's written in the stars. I truly believe it. Have a great week, everyone.